Traders, hello, welcome. How are we? Hope you're all well. Hope you're great, fantastic, amazing. Hope you're having a good trading week. I am with you for the next 40 minutes or so don't be shy. Come say hello. Just leave a comment on the live chat. Come say hello. But more importantly, guys, please leave a question, right? Your questions are the fuel for the next 40 minutes, all right? There is a plan to these live streams, believe it or not. There is a plan. Some days it may not feel like a plan, but there is. So first of all, guys, I'm going to show you a trade that I am in. I am in Euro Swiss franc, and so far so good. The CPI data earlier did help things. So we'll take a look at that. We're also going to look at the news. So let's look at that now. So there's that CPI data I was talking about earlier, guys, and that's helping my Euro Swiss franc buy trade along nicely. Those are good inflation figures and good unemployment figures as well, right? So all rosy for the euro today. We also had the yen. We'll take a look at some yen pairs because we did have the interest rate decision come out, but that was as expected. All right, so there's been a bit of yen strength on the back of that, and we'll take a look at that as well. And upcoming, guys, at 1:30, we do have core PCE, right? So this could, well, and we have initial jobless claims as well, guys, all right? Plus, we have the GDP of Canada coming out. So this is all at 1:30. So we'll play Guess the News game. Come on down. I feel like Bruce Forsyth. Yeah, so we'll play Guess the News game, not only for US dollar, but also for Canadian dollar. And just imagine, guys, if you are in US dollar, Canadian dollar, then that's going to be super volatile in 27 minutes, right? So we'll look at that. Yeah, and we're going to look at the trade that I'm in as well, guys. What else are we going to do? Yeah, we're going to take all of your questions as well. So let's see who is in the house. Right, let's go to the live chat. Let's smash the like button. Where are we? So, Brett, afternoon, Brett. Colin, happy Halloween, of course. Editor, do we have... There we go, the editor. Boom. That is our happy Halloween laughter. Rich Paul, what's up? We also have a poll today. Well, not a poll, actually. We have a question in the poll. And the question is, in Forex, the term hedging refers to. Okay, so you decide, guys. There's a bit of a Forex quiz question there. You decide, and we'll see if the majority of you got that right later in the show. I call it a show. I guess it is a show. Yeah, live stream. Brett wants to take a look at the NAS. Yeah, no worries, Brett. We'll take a look at that. Let me just show you my Euro Swiss franc trade first of all. And this will also show the importance of the CPI as well, right? My target is actually up here, right? So we really liked the day chart. Okay, so price was in this horrible price action with Euro Swiss franc. And then finally, we've had a structure break, which we haven't had pretty much since the start of October till the end of October. For a month, we have had super crappy price action. But as soon as we broke this high in here, we're now getting higher lows, higher highs, right? Nice. And we got a nice bullish candle that broke these highs as well. And we're above the moving average 20 now, which I like as well, right? Lots of things to like. And we still have a bit of room to move into, potentially up to here, if not further, guys, right? All the way back up to here. So it's all looking good. And if we look at the H4, this is my entry time frame. So I started entering in here, right? So I started entering in here, put my stop loss below here. And yeah, I'm looking to take price higher. Now, obviously, guys, this was just such a nice level, right? Maybe, you know, potentially I did get in a little bit early. Yeah, but you can always add to the position in here as well, okay? But regardless, this whole area was just a really nice area to buy from. Yeah, what was once resistance became support. Moving average 20, just tracking price. What's not to like? There was lots of things to like. But as I said, guys, we were helped by news. And, you know, you can see all this euro strength coming into the market. It wasn't only just a great technical level, but as I explained earlier, right, we had this really good CPI and unemployment data come out as well. So let's give the, you know, this euro Swiss franc buy a real welcome push. And if you look at any euro pair, right, we're still seeing, okay, not so much with those pairs, but we're still seeing some euro strength now, right? Euro New Zealand, okay. The thing with these pairs is they're so overextended. Euro pound, yeah, we're seeing that euro strength. Also worth pointing out, guys, let's take a look at a couple of yen pairs, because we had that initial strength with yen, right, on the interest rate, although it was as expected. But now that strength in the yen has been quickly eradicated. Eradicated is word of the day, right? CAD yen, right? We get that initial sell-off on the yen. Now we're seeing some yen weakness come back in. But what's happened with a lot of these yen pairs, and I don't want to touch them now, right, is we've had H4 structure breaks, right? You can see Canadian yen. This is a perfect example. We're getting lower highs, lower lows. So I'm reluctant to keep buying these yen pairs now. Yeah, if we look at, let's look at pound yen. Yeah, you can see this is started to break down as well. This was the last H4 low, and even this is broken down as well. So, you know, I still like if you look in the yen pairs, right? I still like yen pairs for buys, right? But because those, let's go back to the H4, because these H4 structures have broken down, I am not interested, right? At the start of the day, I was interested in euro yen and Swiss franc yen, but again, not interested anymore. Okay. So there you go, guys. That's sort of the aftermath of euro CPI and yen interest rate. But what do you want to look at, guys? Yeah, please don't be shy. Leave a question. So Brett would like to look at the NAS. And every time I say NAS, I do think of the gangster rapper NAS. Anyway, and you should get the album Get Down. And I've mentioned this before, but NAS Get Down is one of the best hip hop tunes ever made. So before I even look at any other time frames on the NASDAQ, what is quite apparent here and important is that we have had, get my words right, we have had a breakdown in H4 structure. As soon as we broke those lows here, yeah, I become not interested in buying the NAS, right? Regardless of what the day chart is doing, really, because to have a H4 structure break, right, is quite a big thing. But let's take a look at that day chart. And, you know, we're still in an uptrend, right? There's no two ways about it. We're doing I usually do a top-down approach. We're doing a bottom-up approach. Let's spice it up, eh? It's Thursday. Anything goes on a Thursday. You ask the editor. He's a madman on a Thursday. He really is. Any day, really. And it's Halloween. Yeah, so anything can happen. But yeah, look, daily, we're still in an uptrend. Even that candle broke those highs, right? There's a continuation of trend. But yesterday, we have had a bearish engulfing candlestick pattern, right? Sellers are back in control there. You know, but we're in an uptrend, right? This, you know, if you looked at the day chart and looked at the moving average 20, that's potentially a good area for buys, right? So, yeah, real contradiction. We've had a H4 breakdown in structure. We're in a downtrend, but daily still looking at, you know, potentially a good area for buys. Now let's go up to the weekly chart. And you can clearly see, let's even put in a level here, right? These are the last highs. Yeah. And it's, it's no shock that we are getting a bearish reaction at these levels, right? That's what we're getting so far. Yeah, this is an all-time high, by the way, right? The all-time high was 20,750, right? And the market is now reacting. Sorry, guys, been drinking. It's Halloween. The market is reacting again. All right. So it's at a real key point here, the NAS, right? Will we have a bit of a sell-off here, or will price push through this level and we continue with this indices strength that we've been seeing, right? And obviously a lot to do with that will be the state of the economy, right? The US elections are going to play a big role in that, but inflation, interest rates, employment figures, all are going to have an impact on what happens to this NASDAQ. So for me, and for all of those reasons, I'm staying out of the NASDAQ, right? The day chart is in an uptrend, clearly, but we're at a weekly resistance level. So it's just a no trade for me. And I don't really want to start selling it until we get a daily structure break, right? If we perhaps get something like this, yeah, and then we get a break, you can see this level through here. If we start getting a break, then I think there's some room to the downside for sure, right? But if we don't, this could quite easily just keep ticking along, right? And I was having a chat the other day, right, which was quite interesting. Yeah, so, he was saying, don't short indices, don't short stocks, right? So he's a stock trader, right? And he does this cup and saucer pattern, right? He basically, that's his only entry, right? And he was saying, just don't short stocks, right? He's going, the whole of the company is geared. The job of the board is to increase stock price, right? So the whole company is motivated to increase stock price, right? So why would you sell something that's so motivated to go up, right? And it made a lot of sense. I was like, yeah, I totally agree with that. And every company that makes up the NASDAQ 100, right? They are all wanting to increase stock price. And inadvertently, that will make the NASDAQ strong, right? I know it's very heavily weighted, with, Microsoft, NVIDIA, the metaverse and all of that, right? It's heavily weighted around those few big players, right? But they just want their stock price to increase. So he was like, I never sell a stock and I never sell the NASDAQ. So I was like, what do you do, in a bear rally, right? When it feels like the earth is gonna, the world is gonna stop turning and we're seeing price action like this. He's like, I just won't trade. He was like, I will have months off at a time. He's like, I'm only interested in bull rallies and I will jump in on that bull rally with various stocks that I like. He doesn't trade the NASDAQ, specifically, he trades individual stocks. And he said, if it's a bear rally, I just have months off. So there you go. And I agreed with what he had to say. Yeah, it was quite an interesting chat that we had. So there you go, guys. There's my view on the NASDAQ. Hope that helps. Michael, good afternoon. How are you? Okay, so Brett's got a good question here as well. So, the vids that I do every day, guys, right? I give you all of my trade ideas, right? Everything that I'm looking at for that day. And today I was looking at Euro yen, Swiss franc yen, Euro Swiss franc, Euro New Zealand dollar, and Euro Aussie dollar. And I have taken Euro Swiss the Euro Swiss trade, right? Now, Brett's question is, when you do your morning analysis, do you start on the daily and work down, or do you always start on the weekly, right? So good question, Brett, right? This is what I do, right? So this is what I do. I always start on the daily, right? For me, day is king, and this is a king's hat. I just felt like drawing, right? This is a king's hat, and this is a jewel, right? Finally lost the plot, right? So the day chart is king. Okay, now, as I explained earlier, right, I was seeing this crappy price movement, and then finally we've had a structure break. So first of all, I just go down to each daily chart, right? If I like the daily, then I'll investigate further. And on Euro Swiss franc, I like the daily. Then what I do next is look at the weekly, and I want the weekly to support my daily trade idea. And the weekly is in a downtrend, right? But we're basically in a range between here and here. But more importantly, I mean, I could put this level in. There is, if I just touch all of these bottoms of these wicks, there is clearly a support level through here, right? And we're bouncing off that level. And remember, I'm not going crazy. I'm only trying to take price to that blue line. First of all, I think this potentially has room all the way up to here, because you can see the moving average 20 as well. It still has a bit of room. So although weekly is in a downtrend, there are enough things on this chart to support my daily idea. We're at weekly support. We are in a bit of a weekly mini range. Okay, so that kind of supports my idea, right? And then also what I like with this one is the monthly, right? If we go to the monthly, I don't always go to the monthly, guys, but, you know, you can see ever since we've hit this low, we've just had bottom wicks. And this week, we've still got a day to go, but this week is looking no different, right? We've got a lot of buyers in here. And again, I'm not going crazy amount of pips. I'm just trying to take price to there or even there, and that's it. And again, look what the moving average 20 is. There's still lots of room here. So that's how I roll. Start with the daily. Is my idea then supported on weekly and monthly, right? And that's what I do for, that's then why I give you all of my trade ideas, right? And then all I do for H4 or H1 is to look for entries, right? And I'm not being flippant, right? I'm not, you know, trading's not easy, right? But once you see an area of resistance like this, when it breaks this area, you know that that becomes very good support. Yeah, so I just trade from a support and resistance level. I did include this wick, right? But basically, I'm trading from a support and resistance area. So when price comes down into here somewhere, I'm looking to buy, and that's what I did. Yeah, I bought. I want to see H4 in an uptrend, which it is. I ideally want to see price above the moving average 20, and I want to trade from an area of support and resistance. There you go, guys. Like I say, not rocket science. You know, all the traders I speak to in my mentorship sessions as well, like, you know, they're like, Tom, do you show us these trades and then go off and do something different? Like, no. Exactly what I show you is exactly what I do. Yeah, there's no hidden, you know, wands, or you know there's hidden wands. You know, there's no special source, right? The special source is reading the charts, reading price action. But all I do is just what I show you every morning, right? And you know, you just want more trades to work out than not. But I do place a lot of emphasis on managing trades. I think that's very important. So once you've entered a trade and you're in it, managing trades is super important, right? So there's a bit more skill and a bit more to it, I would say. But yeah, you know, what I show you is what I do, guys. Okay, so Brett's next question, I've sort of answered that, Brett. So yeah, I just want the weekly to support the daily, right? It doesn't have to be in an uptrend as well. Mohammed, hello, Tom. How do you normally take 80% profit and allow 20% to run on a profitable trade? So Mohammed, yeah, so what you're talking about is managing a trade, right? So, you know, right now, for example, right? Let's look at this trade, right? Let's imagine, I mean, I've entered this trade, right? Now, yeah, let's just say we're at 1:1, just for the purposes of this exercise, right? So let's say we got in here, stop loss is here, right? And that is 21 pips, right? So all I need is 21 pips, right? So right now we have just hit target, okay? Right, so right here we've just hit target. We've got 1:1. And when we get 1:1, that is pretty much where I take partial profits. Now, I know I always, you know, the majority of the time I'm going to take 80%, but sometimes I might take 50%. I might take 70%. And that really depends on how much room this trade has to move into. That determines how much of my partial profits I take. But all I do is once price gets to here, I close 80%. And let's just say you were trading one lot, right? So you've entered one lot on a buy trade. Once it gets to this level, my alarm goes off. And all I do is from this one lot, I close 0.8 of this trade. Right, I close, C for close, right? 0.8 of this trade. And then I leave 0.2 to run, just to keep the maths easy, right? I'm letting 20% run. Yeah. And then what I'll do, guys, as well. Yeah, so just take a moment, just make sure everyone understands that, right? And then what I'll do as well, guys, is this, I will add to positions, right? So my stop loss was down here. Now you can clearly see we have a new higher low. So I'm going to move my stop loss up to say here, give it a bit of room. And that means I've reduced risk. So I can then not only add, I've still got 80% to add to this trade. I've probably got a lot more than that because I've reduced my risk. And then if price did this, come down to here, I would add again to take price up. If it just shoots off, then also good outcome, right? So yeah, that 80-20, taking partial profits, adding to positions is all part of trade management. And guys, if you want access to all of my trade management tutorials and strategies, then please come join our VIP Trading Academy. And right now, guys, if you sign up with Pepperstone, as you can see above my head, which is you know, a world-class broker that is compatible with TradingView, we will give you free access to the VIP Trading Academy if you sign up with Pepperstone. It's a no-brainer, guys. So either switch your broker right now to Pepperstone, or if you're looking for a broker, sign up with Pepperstone now using our affiliate link. Okay, but yeah, good question, Mohammed. Right, what else have we got? Yeah, so guys, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button and smash that like button. It really helps support the channel. Also, don't forget to come join our trading community. Come join our free Discord channel. And we have got something really exciting happening in the free Discord, which me and the editor are going to launch later today or maybe tomorrow. Okay, we're going to do a trading challenge. Right, what else are we looking at here? You're welcome, Brett, no problem. So Alex is asking, dear Tom, could you please incorporate the placement of stop loss orders along with target prices? Okay, so you're talking about when I do my morning analysis vids. So Alex, just to keep this very clear, right? So this is what I do. So Euro Swiss franc was a trade idea today. And if you look at my video from this morning's analysis, I said, if price retraces into here, we can start buying this pair. All right, that's exactly what I've done. The blue line is always my target. All right, so I always give you my target. And secondly, the stop loss is always below the last swing low. So my stop loss will always go here, right? Below the last swing low here. And that's it, right? Again, lots of just logical price action, and understanding price action allows you to have clear targets and stop losses. So Alex, it's as simple as that, mate. I hope that answers your question. Put your stop loss. Let's just put this in an image, right? If I'm in a uptrend and I'm buying, right? Let's say I start buying here. Stop loss goes below the last swing low with a view to taking price higher. If we're in a downtrend and price retraces and I start selling, I put my stop loss above the last swing high with a view to carrying on. And then just trail the stop down. All right, Alex, so yeah, there you go. Simple as that. I hope that helps. Yeah, exactly, Brett. Yeah, so okay, so this is a good question as well. So Brett is asking, Tom, when was the last time you changed your strategy? Christ, like 1936? No. Who's coming out very shortly? So, yeah, I refer to them as the dark days, right? When I was strategy hopping and just trying to use as many indicators as I could and just kept changing indicators, changing this, changing that. Those were dark days, right? And that's what I never want to go back to them days, and I never will, right? So everything I do is based on price action, right? And ever since my chart is pretty naked, right? Yeah, all we've got is this moving average 20, which I use as visual representation as of value, really, right? And dynamic support and resistance. But years, right? Years and years, all I've used is just price action. Now, over those years, I might start entering more on the H4 than I do the H1. And then sometimes I go for a little spell of entering on the H1 more than I do the H4. But the system doesn't change, right? It's just price action, reading charts, top-down approach, trend, support and resistance, candlesticks, value, and that's pretty much it, right? I do not stray from that. That is because everything I've just spoke about are facts, right? Right, let's have a look at, we've got the news coming out in 5, 4, feels like Elon Musk rocket taking off. Okay, I just wanted to look at my Euro Swiss franc trade, see if it had any bearing on that. But let's look at Euro US dollar. And let's look at the H1 because there's a bit more. Okay, so we are seeing US dollar strength. Just wanted to look at that. Okay, so we're seeing Euro US dollar strength. Let's have a look at pound US dollar strength. Let's have a look at New Zealand dollar US dollar strength. So that's the first piece of news. I am going to guess, like Sherlock Holmes, that the US dollar news was better than expected. Okay. Then the next one to look at is CAD, but I'm not going to look at US dollar, Canadian dollar, because we've had 2 bits of news. But let's look at New Zealand CAD. Okay, so we're seeing Canadian dollar strength as well. Let's look at pound Canadian dollar. We're seeing Canadian dollar strength. So off the back of the US dollar news and the Canadian dollar news, I'm going to say both are better than expected, right? Now, if we look at US dollar, Canadian dollar, US dollar is stronger. So US dollar must have had very good results. So all of the US dollar data was better than expected, as was the Canadian data as well. Let's get egg on my face and find out. Okay, so Canadian GDP was as expected, but yeah, all of the US data was either as expected or better, just looking at the 3-star rating. So initial jobless claims, better than expected. Core PCE, better than expected. Month on month, as expected. Right, so more good data coming out of the US, guys, all right? Let's go back to the charts. Let's go back to pound US dollar. Okay, but we're not, yeah, it's not exactly storming down anymore. Let's have a look at euro US dollar. Okay, so that US dollar strength has quickly been rectified, right? So we'll keep an eye on these guys. The one I care about is euro Swiss franc, right? Because this is the trade that I'm in, and yeah, still looking good, guys. All right. So there you go. There was the news. The news for Halloween. What's everyone doing for Halloween? Are you currently dressed as a ghost or a pumpkin and drinking beer or something? Good on you if you are. Have you got any parties you're going to? I dressed my little, well, we dressed our little daughter up earlier in a little like bumblebee Halloween costume, and she hated it. No, she did. She enjoyed it. But yeah, any parties we're going to, guys, please don't forget to invite me. Yeah. Right, what else are we looking at, guys? Okay, Eteras Val, just closed my positions with a bit of profit before news. Okay, Eteras, what was you trading? We're always interested to know what you were trading, so please let us know. What trade were you in? McFlave, hello there, better late than never, right? I agree. It is better late than never. And that is McFlave, that's Flavor Flav from Public Enemy. What else did I want to show you guys? Let's go back to some of the yen pairs and see how they're behaving. Again, Swiss franc yen, it's just broken down, right, from a H4 point of view. The only one that it has euro yen broken down, I'm going to say, right, so a quick quiz question here, guys, right? Okay, you just got out of gold. Okay. So a quick quiz, get my teeth in. Quick quiz question. Not easy to say once you've been drinking vodka all day. Speaking of which, let me have some. Before I do, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and smash that like button. And everyone, right now, if you're looking for a broker, check out Pepperstone, world-class broker, compatible with TradingView. And we're also giving you free access to the VIP Trading Academy if you sign up with Pepperstone. So switch your broker today. We've got so many great promotions for traders, guys. So always come and get involved. Check out the YouTube channel. We've got loads of lists of things that we've got going on. And also come join our Discord channel, right? We post everything that we're doing in there. Also give you all of my trade ideas in there. So get involved, guys. Come join our free Discord channel. Okay, so what's oil up to? Yeah, oil, this was a little promptu trade today, and I'm gonna hazard a guess that it filled the gap. Okay, it's currently filling the gap, right? So this goes against my trade plan. Okay, so oil is clearly in a daily downtrend, right? And it's just been super bearish. So much so, look at that gap down. But I said to myself this morning, when I saw this bullish candle, I was going to trade oil just to fill this gap, right? So, you know, if we just traded oil earlier, if you look at the H4, right? You know, if you just got in down here and took price to here, put your stop below here, you would have a nice trade. And I'm quietly confident oil is going to fill that gap, right? So that was a trade I was considering today, but not in my trading plan, so I don't do it. Yeah, be bloody disciplined. Follow your trading plan. Yeah. Yeah, this would have been a little, what's the right word for it? Don't know, but it wouldn't have been following my plan. But let's take a look at oil, right? Because from a weekly point of view, we know this level through here is like the ultimate stopping barrier for sellers. Every time it comes down here since April last year, right, it just doesn't break that level. Okay, you know, not even the war in the Middle East or whatever has broken that level. So there's no reason to think it will break that level, right? It's a pretty strong level. So, you know, any buys down here do make sense. But for me, I just have to have a trend change on the daily, right? If we get something like this and then price breaks structure, breaks this level, right? I'm just sort of showing you price action I would want to see. We get a break of a lower high, then I would consider buying oil, right? But until then, guys, and what with all the fundamental ramifications on oil, you know, it's not a trade for me right now, but it will fill that gap. Done. So buy oil, it will fill the gap. So there's oil, guys. What else do we want to look at? So Rich Paul wants to look at Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar. So I am still in Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, right? And it has been buggering about. Okay. So I got in here before this daily candle, right? So before this daily candle, I got into this trade yesterday, right? And yesterday it was all looking hunky-dory, right? With a view to taking price down to this 109.50 level. Basically the next piece of support, right? That makes sense. Yeah, it broken this low, room to move into, right? And if we go to real time, what a difference a day makes, right? We've had quite a bullish candle, right? Which is obviously not what I wanted, right? But the key here is the H4. Now, the H4 hasn't broken structure. So price was coming down, right? And I actually got in on a retrace around here. Okay, so I entered here. I put my first entry here. Okay, I actually started entering again up here. So I'm in this trade, right? But I had my stop losses up here. Sorry, not that far, right? I had my stop losses up here, right? So I'm still in this trade, and I am only wrong when this level breaks. Hence, you can see my alarm right here. If that level breaks, right, and we get a bullish H4 candle that looks like that, I will get out of this trade before it even hits my stop loss. I'm like, right, my trade was wrong because of H4 structure break. And I will just close this trade. It might just come up and take you out anyway, right? But as long as this level holds and we're seeing candles like, you know, rejection candles like this, there's a lot of indecision here, right? You know, there's no getting away from that, right? You've got doji and you're soon to have another doji, right? But as long as we're getting rejection up here, I'm still good to take price potentially back down to here, where I will consider taking some profit now because of how the market has developed, right? And that big bullish daily candle. But I'll still leave some to run, yeah, back down to my original target, back down to this 0950 in here. So we'll see with this one, right? It's been a bit, you know, look at the H1. That is just a, you know, literally a day of crap. But I am enjoying this very bearish weekly, this very bearish hourly candle. Still got another 20 minutes though. So yeah, there you go, guys. I like Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar sells. Rich Paul's also in Euro Aussie dollar buys. Okay, good. That was one of my trade ideas for today. And that Euro CPI data is only going to help this trade. I preferred, because if we look at the day chart, guys, this is important, right? So Euro Aussie dollar, right? Clearly in an uptrend, yeah? But look where it is in relation to the moving average 20. Up here, it's a little bit overextended because I got asked earlier in the VIP Trading Academy, Tom, why did you trade Euro Swiss franc and not Euro Aussie dollar or Euro yen or Euro New Zealand dollar, right? My trade ideas for today. And the reason was this, right? Euro Aussie dollar is very overextended compared to where the moving average 20 is, right? Whereas Euro Swiss franc is not at all, right? This is not an overextended move. Look at the moving average 20. We've just had a fresh structure break, right? So that's why I prefer this trade, potentially up to here, more so than Euro Aussie dollar. All right, guys. Yeah, and guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Please check out all the promotions we've got running. They're all for you, the trader. They add value to your trading, so check them out. Thanks for all of your questions, guys, and your time today. We really appreciate it. Hope you have a great trading day, and I'll see you again.